He found the little girl huddled in the barn just before dawn, a tiny thing, barefoot, shivering, her hair tangled like she'd run for miles. She was holding something close to her chest, a small, dirty blanket, and her big brown eyes stared at the rancher like he was the first safe person she'd seen in years. Cole Turner wasn't expecting anyone on his land that morning. He had woken early because the horses kept packing in their stalls, snorting like something strange was nearby. At first, he thought it was coyotes, or maybe another one of those storms rolling in from the mountains. But when he slid open the barn door, he froze. In the far corner, sitting on a pile of old hay, was a little girl no older than 6. She flinched when the door creaked. Cole slowly raised his hands, speaking gently. "Hey there, you lost." The girl hesitated. Her lips trembled from the cold, and her little body was curled protectively around the dirty blanket in her arms. Cole took one cautious step forward, and that was when he heard it. A whisper. Barely a breath. "Mama's dying outside." Cole's heart stopped. He knelt instantly. "Where is she, sweetheart?" The girl pointed a shaking finger toward the woods behind the barn. Cole didn't ask anything else. He scooped her up carefully, grabbed his coat, and rushed out into the freezing dawn air. The woods were quiet except for the sound of wind and the faint crunch of snow under his boots. The girl clung to him with surprising strength. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Leela," she whispered. "Mama couldn't walk anymore. She fell near the rocks. I tried to get help, but nobody stopped." Her voice cracked. Cole's jaw tightened with anger. Anger at a world where a child begged for help and grown men walked away. "How long ago?" he asked. Leela sniffed. "Since it got dark last night." Cole's pace quickened into a run. He followed the direction she pointed, scanning the ground until he saw it. A shape. A woman lying half-buried in frost, her clothes torn, her breathing shallow. Cole felt his chest tighten when he reached her. Her skin was ice cold, her pulse faint. Bruises covered her arms like someone had dragged her through the woods. "Ma'am," he whispered urgently, "can you hear me?" Her eyelids fluttered. "Am my girl," she gasped. "She's safe," Cole said firmly. "I've got her. I'm taking you both inside." Her eyes filled with relief, then closed again from exhaustion. Cole wasted no time. He lifted her into his arms, the girl still clinging to his coat, and brought them both back to the ranch house. He placed the mother near the fire, grabbed every blanket he could find, and heated water on the stove. Leela knelt beside her mother, holding her hand. "She didn't eat for 2 days," she whispered. "She kept giving me her food." Cole swallowed hard. He worked fast, warming her, cleaning the cuts on her arms, checking her breath. He wasn't a doctor, but after years on a ranch, he knew how to save an animal from death's door. Humans weren't all that different when the body was freezing. Slowly, very slowly, color returned to the woman's cheeks. Hours later, she opened her eyes. The first thing she saw was Leela's face. The second was Cole sitting nearby with a pot of soup, watching them with the gentle intensity of a man who'd seen too much loss to ignore anyone in need. "You're safe here," he said quietly. The woman tried to sit up. Thank you." "You don't need to thank me," Cole replied. "Just tell me who did this to you." Her eyes filled with fear. "I ran," she whispered, "from him." Cole didn't interrupt. "My husband," she continued, voice breaking. "He drinks, he hurts us. Leela hid under the bed when she choked on her own tears. Last night he came home angry. I grabbed Leela and ran into the woods. I don't even remember falling." Cole's hands curled into fists. "You won't be going back to him," he said in a tone that was quiet but colder than winter. "Not ever." The woman looked at him, confused, scared, hopeful, all at once. "Why would you help us?" she whispered. Cole looked into the fire for a moment before answering. "My late wife," he swallowed. She used to bring home every injured thing she found. Birds, dogs, strays. Said it wasn't the world's job to be kind, it was ours. His voice softened. I lost her 3 years ago. Since then, the ranch, it's been quiet. Too quiet. He looked at them finally. But when I found your little girl in my barn, something told me not to let either of you slip away. The woman wiped her eyes. My name is Anna, she said softly, and this is Leela. Cole nodded. I'm Cole. For the first time, a faint smile touched Anna's lips. Days passed. Anna grew stronger. Leela began playing on the porch. Cole fixed up the spare room for them, pretending it was just temporary, but he found himself checking on them more often than he ever expected. Anna insisted on helping with chores. Leela followed Cole around like a tiny shadow, holding his sleeve, asking him endless questions. One night during dinner, Leela suddenly crawled into Cole's lap and rested her head on his chest. Are we gonna stay? She whispered sleepily. Cole stiffened. Anna froze. Leela lifted her head and looked at him with those big, soft eyes. Please. Cole's throat tightened painfully. He looked at Anna, at the bruises finally fading, at the strength slowly returning to her, at the way she watched him with a mix of gratitude and something deeper. I'd like you to stay, Cole said quietly, as long as you want, both of you. Anna's eyes filled with tears, not of fear this time but relief. Leela wrapped her arms around his neck. Over the next weeks, the ranch transformed. Leela's laughter filled the barn. Anna cooked beside Cole, her soft humming warming the quiet rooms. Cole found himself smiling more, sleeping deeper, talking more than he had in years. But the peace didn't last. One evening, a truck pulled up outside. Anna froze. Leela grabbed Cole's hand. From the truck stepped a man with wild eyes and whiskey on his breath, the husband she'd escaped from. Anna, he shouted, come out, you're mine. Cole stepped onto the porch. You're on private land, he said calmly. The man sneered. Where's my wife and my kid? Cole stood taller. They're not yours anymore. The man stormed forward. But Cole didn't move. You got 2 choices, Cole said. Leave now or I make you. The man swung. Cole caught his wrist before the punch landed, and with one twist, dropped him to his knees. The man screamed. Cole's voice was low and deadly. You ever come near them again, you'll leave this ranch in pieces. He shoved the man away. The husband stumbled back, terrified, ran to his truck and sped down the road. Anna watched from the window, tears streaming silently. That night when Cole sat by the fire, Anna approached him slowly. You protected us, she whispered. Cole shook his head. You protected yourselves. I was just here this time. She stepped closer, her voice trembled. No, Cole, you gave us a home. He lifted his eyes to hers. Anna took his hand. And for the first time since his wife died, Cole didn't pull away. Leela peeked around the corner and smiled, as if she'd known all along. Months passed. Anna and Leela never left. The small room Anna slept in became hers permanently. Cole built a swing for Leela outside the barn. Every night, the 3 of them sat together by the fire. They weren't strangers anymore. They were something else. A family born from fear, rescued by kindness, held together by love. And sometimes, late at night, when Cole checked the barn and saw Leela's swing swaying in the wind, he remembered the moment he found her there. Small, shivering, waiting for a miracle. He never expected he'd be the miracle. But some miracles choose you. And this one changed his life forever.